Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus, King Sunkissed, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, certainly, for y'all's full moon in Leo messages for the water signs. And we do want to pick a pal, pick a collective, pick a group, pick a card, whichever one you want to call it. How we going to do this one, though, is y'all also have a pick a song element. Each different group, each different sign group has a different method of how to pick your pal type shit. Something special that y'all can use on picking y'all's pal. So for y'all, it is a song, all right? So pick a song, child. And so for the channel song for group 1, y'all have Overthinking Kid. And for the channel song for group 2, y'all have Protector. Okay? So Overthinking Kid by Willow Smith for group 1 and Protector by Beyonce for group 2. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the specificities of a few intro channel messages on these songs for these groups, okay? And these channel messages are also meant to aid in helping y'all, child, they mean the same damn thing, in aiding y'all, aiding y'all and helping yourselves, honey, pick y'all pal, okay? We brought it on together. We parked the car in the yard. Yes, God. Now, I ain't gonna waste no more time. Gonna go ahead and get right into the specificities of these channel messages, starting with Overthinking It by Willow of the Smiths. So, straight out the gate, it's honestly very self-explanatory with y'all. Y'all have been doing a hell of a lot of overthinking. And Spirit is saying, just make a decision. Just make a decision. And it's crazy how things align up, right? Because there are times where when I'm finna do these readings, my process and or even just like my day will start off in alignment with what the message is entailing. It's like Spirit creates circumstance to open up, like really, really open up and penetrate my frequency of empathy. Like I'm very empathetic in general. But like I said, oftentimes when I get ready to do readings, like just little subtle things will start to happen that parallel, what the collective is going through. And yeah, just in here acknowledging how that penetrates my extra ability to prophetically empathize with you all. All that said, I have been saying that to myself all morning. Relax, just make a decision. Relax, just make a decision. And I knew something felt interesting about that because I'm a very decisive person in general on the regular. I'm a very decisive person. And I'm typically the one, like, if we're kicking it, or if we're going out on a town or going on a trip or something, I'm usually the one that's like, hey, we're gonna do it or we ain't. What's good? Or you gonna do it or you ain't, because I'm gonna go do this over here that I want to do. Like, what's good? So again, definitely making sense as to why I was having those experiences this morning. And I mean, also, my moon is in Pisces. So hey, that also low-key high key, it makes sense why that would align. Also being the fact that, oh, okay, and we're gonna pop the car in the yard, right? I'm realizing that it's also penetrating a sense of sympathy. Pisces is the most sympathetic sign. Okay. In unevolved form, Pisces can be extremely non-sympathetic to other people, but they will do the most to garner sympathy for themselves a hell of a lot. And they will go on and on. I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. So that people will make decisions for them and just pour an abundance of sympathy and empathy and also pity into them. Unevolved Pisces have a very keen, melodramatic, very 1920s melodramatic, blonde hair, blue eyed lead of some melodramatic romance movie. Okay, it's literally giving me the image of like Blanche from A Streetcar Named Desire. If you don't know what that is, go fishing, baby. Okay, because it'll make all of the sense what that's meaning by what's being said about the unevolved Pisces energy that toxically practically begs and siphons excessive sympathy and empathy and pity from people. And I'm hearing abusers as I say that. So as we are parking the car in the yard, we parking the car in the yard on all this being said to say. Y'all are needing to be more empathetic and sympathetic with yourselves. And there's also this call to action as well as lack of action when it comes to the frequency of pity. You're not supposed to pity people. You're not supposed to pity yourself. If the frequency of pity comes up, it's meant for you to acknowledge it and reject it. And that is also a way of calling your power back and evoking a true sense of power into yourself and into any situation and conversation that you're in. Even if the conversation ends at you peeping, for instance, someone trying to make you pity them, someone having a pity party. Okay. Even if the conversation ends at you being like, yo, I empathize with you, but I'm not gonna participate in this pity. We're gonna have to get it in gear or not at a certain point. Like, we're not gonna sit here and just lay in the sun licking our asses all day like a dog. Baby, at some point, you got to get up and make some shit shake. Beyonce is channeling through here too. Whereas something she said about her giving herself like 1 to 2 days out of each week where she, bitches and moans and cries and weeps and wallows and whatever it is her sorrows and sadnesses and frustrations are. And then after that, she is on to the next thing, on to the next, on to the next. Ain't that a Jay-Z song? That's funny how that shit be happening, right? Honey. So yeah. And y'all are needing to put yourselves around people who are naturally empathetic, sympathetic, who have good sense of emotional regulation as well as emotional intelligence and a good sense of will, like regardless of what they've been through. And I'm hearing spirit say, acknowledge yourself, acknowledge how you have a great sense of will, resolution oriented, if this resonates with you. Acknowledge how far you've come and the grit and the delicateness and strength, honey, that you have maintained despite anything that you have gone through. So now ask yourself why you don't deserve, or why you feel you don't deserve, to also be surrounded by people and or affiliated with people more often that, and or pour into people, because some people are saying that y'all got some really good, strong-willed and empathetic people that y'all know that are in y'all lives, but y'all have been habitually martyring. Ooh, yeah. Y'all have been habitually thinking that you're doing God's work by making yourself a slave to other people's pity parties. And y'all, Spirit is saying there's too many relationships and attachments here where y'all are having to overthink. You having to think, feel, and will for every fucking body, and teaching them lessons that they never learn because they are committed to not learning. They are committed to making you think, feel, and will for them. So stop with these relationships with people who you are having to teach empathy. You are having to teach sympathy. You are having to teach basic shit where it's like, if they wanted it, it's given someone, and that's what we're gonna wrap up the intro message, because I know like it's gonna be so much clarified once we get into the cards. All the while definitely picking up someone dealing with someone who has addiction issues and or a substance problem. So for some of you, it may be you're dealing with someone who literally has an addiction, and for some of you, you're dealing with someone who has a problem. And the way that is, coming up to differentiate the difference here is an addiction, that technical term. And okay, let me specify. An addiction is when the person's mind and body feels dependent on it, and they literally need medical treatment, medical and psychological treatment, and spiritual as well, if you really get into the cricks and crannies of it. But they need treatment, actual professional treatment, in order to wean their mind and body off of whatever it is that they're addicted to. Because if not, they could die. Like, they could literally die. They could get seriously sick and die if they were. I'm not laughing at that. It's just a release of energy. But yeah, that's a reality of the situation. Like, that's what could happen. It's a medical and psychological issue. But someone who has a problem, so for instance, if they have just a drinking problem, and I'm not saying just to downplay it at all, if they have a problem, then it could be every time they get drunk, they sloppy. Every time they get drunk, they can't keep their hands to themselves. Every time they get drunk, they are doing a series of inappropriate things that piss everybody off, and they have no like regulation to read the room or anything. They are just like, they having a great time, but they ruining everybody else's great time one way or another. Or every time they get drunk, they want to fight people. That's someone who has a drinking problem. Or even someone who feels like they always have to be under the influence to work or to perform or to have sex. Okay. And that could be like blurring the lines there in certain cases, because there are certain cases where the libido is harshly affected when it comes to addiction. So they may not realize that they are addicted, but it may be showing up in the lack of libido and or in erectile dysfunction. If someone, it has the inability to go erect when they are not on substances and or if they are not on pills. Because I am picking up on someone um having abused, what do they call those pills that give men more stamina for sex and keep they dicks hard and shit, that type shit. So yeah, wrapping up on y'all's intro messages for the channel song Overthinking It. y'all gotta make some decisions based on y'all. Y'all gotta choose y'all, because a reason why y'all anxiety is flaring up. I'm picking up like the grinding of teeth, migraines, and things like that, because your brain is on overload, and it's not just because of what you have going on in your own personal stuff. You are inhabiting muscle memory and functionality, and it's coming up. Spirit is saying for some of you, this is a functioning addiction for you all to overplay your part for people, to overthink for other people, to, like I said, think, feel, and will for other people. And I'm hearing that it's coming also from a trauma response, dissociation, distracting yourself from your own reality of having, y'all haven't faced the fact that y'all have been victimized in certain situations. You just jump to, I'm free, I'm healed, I'm thriving, I'm doing my thing, and now I'm able to help all of these other people because you are so strong, you are so capable, but you also can break. You are unbreakable, but you are also only human. All right. So we're gonna leave it at that for now. And we're gonna move on over to group two's intro messages for Protector by Beyonce. All right, group two for y'all channel song intro messages. Protector by Beyonce. Straight out the gate, I'm hearing stepdaughter, stepchild in general, to be honest, but specifically, there's someone or some people here calling strong attention to a stepdaughter. Okay, this could also be your experience as a stepdaughter, and or needing to observe someone else's experience as a stepdaughter. You may have a stepdaughter, or someone else has a stepdaughter who needs attention. So, and or something about the relationship needs attention. And I am picking up both adults and children. So take it how it resonates. All right. Another side of this is y'all being called to reparent yourself. I'm hearing that for some of you, y'all are meant to be parents. Like y'all are meant to uh biologically be parents. You are being prepared in different ways not to lose yourself to the role of a parent. Yes. And a part of that is, like I said, y'all being called to reparent yourself, reparent your inner child, and things of that nature. In certain, I'm hearing 12th house, 12th house, a need to evaluate your 12th house, your 12th house placements. And there's a lot of information there that is going to unpack and unlock a lot of memories. Now, and in this, I am hearing tower moments, okay? But don't fret, because it's aligned, like it's happening for you, not to you, okay? But a part of the tower moment is highly internal and highly emotional. Okay, the animal totem, the animal totem, dolphins. The animal totem of dolphins is channeling. Okay, go fishing, baby. No pun intended, but go fishing, baby. On what that may mean for you. It may get elaborated upon as we get into the actual reading of it all. With the cards. But yeah, okay, that's channeling through there. I keep hearing the lyric specifically from the song, lifting you up so you will be raised. Lifting you up so you will be raised. So someone or, or a lot of y'all were not lifted up enough in your childhood. And or you may also be observing. This could be paralleling, right? So it could literally be both for a lot of y'all. That a lot of y'all had an experience as a child, whether you were a stepchild, biological child, or whatever. But there's some frequency of stepchild here, which is giving a connotation and an energy of disregard, being disregarded, and again, not being lifted up enough, all the while being forced and obligated into positions to lift everyone else up. Ooh, child. Heavy, heavy. You got so heavy, baby. Yeah, yeah. Okay? Nothing's a coincidence. That is a song channeling through there. That is another song channeling through there, which is Heavy, Heavy from the Dreamgirls soundtrack. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So, when I said that too, got a real keen image of Effie. And in the movie, when they're recording that song, she storms out. That's what she stormed out, pissed off. Okay? So, ooh, yeah. So that's also giving that when y'all get into the elements of unpacking y'all's 12th house, and I'm hearing it's happening. It's happening regardless. And so they're calling you to your 12th house specifically also, so that you can be prepared and prepare yourself. Be prepared. Yes. Y'all are needing to watch The Lion King and or listen to the soundtrack. That makes sense too, because from the live action soundtrack, the song Bigger by Beyonce is now channeling through again here too. So y'all, it's probably some musicians up in here, or you got a real good musical ear, or you love music, or you a dancer, or something of the sort, or you may be affiliated with music or musicians one way or another, and or of course you may be also clairaudient. It could be all that. And so definitely picking up some career messages may very likely be coming out in y'all's card messages, because this is definitely having a lot to do with boundaries and balance as it concerns your relationships, and a lot of that is having to do with starting with your relationship with yourself and having to start from scratch, because a lot of y'all have a lot of trauma built up that has like not only desensitized y'all, but it has deactivated certain parts of your brain and certain parts of your brain's functions. So that is also evident of extreme blockage, again, the desensitization of it all. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, a lot of y'all have not even realized how outside of your body you've been for a long time. And it's about to be something that happens. And I'm hearing Tower Moment again. It's about to be something that happens that makes it so impossible for you to not sense, for you to not feel the danger and threats, and I'm hearing sadness and sorrow that is within you and around you. And I'm hearing for some of you, there's someone or some people that you affiliate with, associate with, in a relationship with, live with, that the rage they outwardly show is reflecting the rage that is desensitized within you. Ooh, shit. And so it's like, yes, it's time with those messages that are saying about y'all being outside of y'all body. Y'all been outside of y'all body for a long time. Your body has been on autopilot. And it's like major parts of y'all's mind and emotions have been on ice. Like extreme ice. Oh, they give me imagery of like the South Pole, those ice worlds that are in the site that are in the South Pole and shit. Those frozen worlds. Yeah, and that's what it's giving. Y'all got some huge frozen worlds inside of y'all that really need to be thawed out, because I'm hearing escape. Somebody needs to escape and y'all don't even realize it. Somebody needs to declare war and you're not even like aware of it. But whatever this Tower Moment is, it's gonna make it drastically apparent. And so that's also why y'all getting this heads up. Mm-hmm. And I keep hearing black and black and black. And so we're gonna get to that in just a second. So yeah, y'all getting this heads up and direction towards unpacking and evaluating y'all's 12th house placements and such. Because y'all are gonna need to save yourselves. And I know y'all probably have saved yourselves plenty of times, but what is coming up, you're gonna have to save yourself on a different level. It's a lot of parts of yourself that you left behind those other times where you were saving yourself. So I'm gonna put this in a different way. The spirit is bringing it up. You saved your body and you left a lot of major parts of your brain and your heart where you hurt, where you were hurt, where you were traumatized. It's a lot of major parts that you left back there. And so um all of this Tower Moment is coming in for y'all to give yourselves more credit. And it's also coming in to wake y'all up. And that's channeling the song channeling through now is "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go." Okay, so I don't know who that resonates for. Take the meat, spit out the bone. You may need to go listen to it or whatever and see how it resonates for you. Or that specific lyric may resonate in a way of you wanted someone to wake you up before they left and they did not, and or that's a routine that you have, waking someone up before you leave, like to check in with them or let them know that you headed out type shit. Now I'm not sure about the importance of that at the moment, but that's just what's coming through. Okay, that might be for you to know. And me for just to drop the hints that spirit threw out there. So yeah, child. Yes, coming through to wake y'all up to a hell of a lot of shit. Wake y'all up to yourselves. And Spirit is saying, leave it at that, because it's gonna be unpacked more thoroughly in the actual reading. Before I do that though, they're allowing me to say it's given uh-huh wake me up before you go is also coming through, like they're waking you up before you go through this dark night of soul. There's a dark night of soul approaching. So y'all are needing to be Wide Awake by Katy Perry. Child. Okay. Very musical pal here. Very, very, very musical collective here. Okay. So yeah, dog. Yeah, dog. Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into the specificities of these groups. I believe y'all got everything y'all need to pick your pal. So let's proceed. And as we proceed to give you R&B, mother, because what you need. And what you need is the specificities of these cards for group one. Greetings, sunshines and sunnies of group one. Like I said, y'all got Overthinking It by Willow Smith. Let's also pinpoint too that Willow Smith is a water sign. She is a Scorpio, born on that good old Halloween, honey, October 31st. Nothing's a coincidence. Ain't that some shit? So, as we're getting into the cards of it all, y'all have the Seven of Wands in reverse and the Self Discipline card in reverse. And as it's coming up here and syncing with Willow and some of the things that I've heard her say, and it's coming up here, is her taking time, making the choice in several different instances to isolate herself from the world, from certain people, her parents, for periods of time. And it may not even necessarily be a whole lot of personal stuff, like, nothing to do so much with what other people are doing to her, but more so her being self aware and self accountable about how she prepares herself to deal with those things and how she responds and how she navigates herself unconditionally. Because what I'm sensing here is also picking up her energy coming through the reading is just feeling very overwhelmed, feeling extremely overwhelmed by other people because of feeling overly responsible for other people's thoughts and emotions, and particularly feeling overly responsible for making other people comfortable. Okay. And that makes sense too with the intro messages that were coming out. That was like a major part of y'all's overthinking is also coming from y'all having to overly think for other people, overly feel for other people. So, getting into the Seven of Wands and reverse card specifically, and the label that is on that card in this particular deck, which is the Sun and Moon Tarot, it is Valor. Okay, and Valor is a sense of courage, bravery, boldness. It also is associated with particularly a hero frequency. So this ties back to that martyr syndrome messages that was coming out in the intro messages because the card is in reverse. The Seven of Wands um, is also described as Leo and Mars or Mars and Leo. And how that channeled through here is lion in sheep's clothing. Um, there's a there's a painting that has to do, I can't remember what the name of the painting is, but it is a lion in sheep's clothing watching over a woman sleeping, and it's particularly a black woman, a very dark skinned black woman specifically. And this lion is wearing the coat of a sheep, and the whole thing watching over her as she sleeps, not preying on her, but more so praying for her, being a protector for her, but knowing that because it is a lion, you know, we're conditioned to fear lions. Lions are apex predators. A lot of times lions don't bother humans if humans don't bother lions. But also all the while they are apex predators. They are predators, but they are just not. They're not ruthless. They're not like lynxes that are excessively territorial and vindictive or things of that nature. Lions are more. They have a sense of understanding the natural order of things, and that's something that's coming up here. Natural order. What is natural? Which is the reality of the situation. The lion watching over this woman, understanding the reality that they are a predator. They are something that is a real beautiful, but also seen as scary, you know? So like I said, that's the purpose of them cloaking themselves in sheep's clothing, right? And that's very, 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 very much so not to be mistaken with wolves in sheep's clothing. And Spirit is making that differentiation for a reason. Because y'all have been dealing with wolves in sheep's clothing, predators passing themselves off as prey. Predators passing themselves off as prey. Like they are defenseless, like they are weak, like they are incapable, like they are just uncontrollably ignorant. And the whole time, they are wolves. They are very keen. They are very swift. They are very capable. They are so capable that they are also resting their capabilities while siphoning all of yours and distracting you and holding you back. Meanwhile, Spirit, and this goes back to some of those intro messages too, where Spirit was saying that a lot of you have people in your life who are more alike you when it comes to being resilient, willfully resilient. Not just it's natural, and yes, it is natural, but at the same time, it's willful. It's willful. And in certain ways that these people, these individuals are willful, is not natural. It's things that they've had to work towards. It's things that they have had to choose to work on and build from the ground up. The same way you have. A lot of you are dealing with performing for people, being overly responsible for people, being caught up in the fights and throes and chaos of people who enforce that enforce and reaffirm what's been instilled in you from your upbringing, that you're the strong one, and or you're the oldest, and or you gonna be all right. So you don't need all of that. You don't need all of that attention. You don't need all of that patience and mercy and grace. You gonna be all right. And in turn, you're treating yourself exactly the same way, where you have your own issues, you have your own traumas that you're still trying to heal from. You have your own illnesses, you have your own stresses and situations and hopes and dreams and goals and things that you don't know anything about, that you need someone to help you with, not think for you, but help you help yourself through, and be hands on with you. But you're not allowing yourself that because you don't feel like you deserve it, because you feel like, oh, you're so capable, you're so abundant when it comes to your sense of resilience and your sense of will. But the thing is, you're not realizing that you've been on autopilot. You're not realizing that you yourself have been living a life of trauma response, committing to the martyr complex, the hero complex, the savior complex as a distraction from saving yourself. Because a lot of you have yet to face the reality that you have been victimized over and over and over and over again. And it hurt you, it scared you, it frightened you, it shook up your faith, it broke your faith, it broke your heart, it broke your trust. Y'all have yet to face those things. Y'all have yet to face that certain diagnosis that have been bestowed upon you, that it hurts you, that it scares you, that it frightens you, that it causes a lack of trust in yourself. But you just keep distracting yourself mindlessly and habitually and in certain ways willfully, because you're afraid to face your own reality, and you're afraid to face the reality that the people who are these wolves in sheep's clothing, they are going to blame you for setting boundaries. They're going to blame you for the failure of relationships, for the failure of certain goals that were never supposed to be yours in the first place. And you are going to have to get okay with certain things not being okay. And that's a part of the huge part of the message here, is that this overthinking, this anxiety, this disturbance of a nervous system ongoingly like this is coming from these wolves in sheep's clothing, disturbing y'all's nervous system in such a way, tugging and tugging and tugging and pulling and pulling and pulling on all your thoughts and emotions for themselves. They have you puppeteering them so they can blame you. They have you propping them up, thinking for them, making all the decisions for them, so that if anything goes wrong, they can blame you. And when anything goes right, they're going to discredit you and take all the credit as if they thought of all of the shit themselves. And that's their intent. They mean to do it. They are not ignorant. They are not defenseless. They are wolves in sheep's clothing. Now, taking it back to these lions in sheep's clothing, Spirit has them around you because they see it. And they can also see where you are for real. They can see how you're not truly healed, that you haven't even truly begun a real healing process from the things that you've been through. They can see it. And they also know, and this is very likely Leos. Like, a lot of you may literally be surrounded by Leos or be really, really close with a Leo or a few. And or this could be people with very strong Leo placements. They may have a Leo and Mars placement, or they may have a Leo and Venus placement. They may even have a Leo and Lilith placement, just outside of Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Those may be the other prominent Leo placements that these people have. And like I said, they are watching over you. They have on their own sheep's clothing because they know that you're not ready for them to come in like Mufasa or come in like Simba at the end to wreak havoc and rip everybody up and tell everybody where to go and where it's gonna be. They know you have to do that for yourself, but Spirit has them, you know, on the sidelines in sheep's clothing, watching over you while you sleep on yourself with these other people, and they're not judging you. They're not planning to attack you or kick you while you're down. They're just watching over you, waiting for the moment that you choose yourself. They're waiting for the moment that you choose to stand up and set those boundaries for yourself and even isolate yourself if you need to. They're going to be right there and they're going to be guarding you the whole time. And when you are ready, not even when you think you're ready, but when your soul is ready for them to come in and rip motherfuckers up on your behalf, they're going to do that shit. Now, for some of you, this is also the spirit of the goddess Sekhmet. Okay, so you may have people around you that are personifications of Sekhmet as well as Bastet. And then this is also to say that Sekhmet and this is how I'm hearing it, Sekhmet is working in co-collaboration with Santizama. And they're just waiting on that divine timing when you are ready to choose yourself for real, to protect yourself for real. And they're gonna swoop right on in and bloodshed the fuck out that bitch. And the thing is, what you all are being prepped for as well, as to not have pity for these individuals when they suffer their own demise. Because, like I said, they're going to blame you for certain relationships failing. They're going to blame you for certain goals failing and certain bridges burning and all of that shit. And yeah, you may have lit the fire, but it's not your fault. It's what their patterns of behavior led you to be a real leader, a real hero by surrendering the whole damn war and saying, fuck it, I'm just gonna burn all this shit to shreds. I'm just gonna let it fall. And that's channeling our good Pisces queen, Rihanna, the song Sledgehammer by Rihanna, where specifically in the concepts of the lyrics and the messages of the song is, I hit a wall. I thought that it would destroy me. I thought that the wall would take me out. But instead, I hit that wall and knocked it down and watched it fall. And I rose. And it fell because it was supposed to fall. It was never supposed to be standing in the first place. You're just another break, and I'm a sledgehammer, bitch. I'm supposed to knock this shit down. I'm supposed to shake this shit up. I'm supposed to flip this table because this table should have never been built in the first place. This was never my table to build. This was never my table to set. So, yeah, I'm going to destroy it because I should have been using my resources to build the table, not just the table, but the castle that is for me, the castle that I want. So yeah, I'm gonna break this table down. I'm gonna break this bridge down, and I'm gonna take back the remains of these resources that I use, building a bridge for you, building connections for you, building homes, building tables, building chairs, building thrones, building pedestals for you. I'm gonna break all of that shit down and take all those resources back, and I'm building what the fuck is divinely designed for me. Period. That's where y'all are being built up to, and to not give a fuck about who goes down in the fire, because if they went down in the fire, they were supposed to. It's because they didn't want to get out for real. And you gave them ample opportunities, several opportunities, bent yourself into a pretzel, and they couldn't even give you the slightest bit of common courtesy, let alone a thank you for your ideas, let alone the simple acknowledgement that you gave them those ideas, those thoughts, that courage. They taking it like they thought of it themselves, like they just pulled it out their ass, like a rabbit out of a hat, like they're the magician when it's you. You are the magician. Ciao. And as we wrap up on these messages, getting into y'all self-discipline card that is in reverse, and that card, particularly when it's in reverse, now you would think that if it comes out in reverse, then that's signifying to you that you're not uh, operating in self-discipline real well. But actually, if it's in reverse, that's a sign that spirit is saying you're on the right track. So for some of you, you've been coming to the mentality of a lot of the messages that have come out thus far. For some of you, you've been actively setting those boundaries. You've been actively acting accordingly to the wisdom that you've been coming into. Okay. And the general consensus is giving taking your power back in those specific ways of disciplining yourself in the addiction to having a hero, savior, martyr complex, and even the intense habitual functionality trauma response of you being responsible for making sure that everybody else is comfortable. And this is also showing up in such the way it's bringing up that Scorpio thing, the unevolved Scorpio thing of like losing yourself in relationships, specifically as it concerns. So this is bringing up like the reference that spirit is giving me specifically is LGBTQ type stuff. But don't think that it's just exclusive to that, because queer means different. Queer can also mean the black sheep of the situation. Okay. So queer refers to anyone who is treated like a black sheep, anyone who is treated like they are different, so they are evil. And this brings up demonizing liberation, which inevitably demonizes queer, because it's that belief system, that functionality and such, that because it is different from the status quo, that makes it evil. But that is not true. So a lot of you have been dealing with that, and that's why they're making those differentiations between a lion in sheep's clothing and a wolf in sheep's clothing. Because a lot of you have been taught that you should fear the lion more than the wolf. You've been taught that these drastically different people and things, and for instance, this was coming up like being gay, being a witch, being spiritual, being dark skinned, being very blatant with your culture. It's bringing up Kendrick Lamar and Bad Bunny, and also specifically what their Super Bowl performances represent. That being like 10 toes down in and about your culture is also something that is demonic when that's not true. You're taught that that's something to fear, that that's something that is wrong. But all at the same time, the concepts of what those things and people stand for is also what you're taught is right. So how can you be taught that the people who stand 10 toes down in integrity, righteousness, the good things of culture, history, and all of that? How can you be taught that the concepts that they stand on are right, but the people that embody those concepts are wrong, that they're evil? So that's what's been also causing this cognitive dissonance, as well as this dissociation of sorts and this overthinking frequency. Because from childhood, a lot of you have been taught, have integrity, be in tune and educated on where you come from, have respect, have common courtesy, stand for something or fall for anything. But then at the same time, you've also been taught to demonize the people who stand 10 toes down in those concepts. Therefore, you fear choosing a side. You fear standing 10 toes down in those concepts, and you end up serving two masters, not in a way of being polytheistic, but in a way of trying to satisfy good and evil at the same time. And there's a need to recognize that right is right and wrong is wrong, not just recognize it, but function in it. Because it's given a lot of y'all are dealing with people who really don't agree, not even just don't agree with a lot of the things that you're interested in and that you are. And I am, again, this is coming up the queer frequency, which is LGBT, spiritual workers, people who are more spiritual than religious, um, people who are truth tellers, whistleblowers, things of that nature, not to be confused with dog whistling, because these wolves in sheep's clothing that y'all been dealing with have been more so dog whistlers. Garnering pity and shit, weaponizing people against each other so that they don't have to take accountability for their own actions, creating triangulation and shit. So this is also coming up where like this bringing back up those messages that was talking about some of y'all being too in the midst of certain other people's drama and just feeling like a whole bunch of people are yelling and fighting over you. And it's disturbing the fuck out of your nervous system, but nobody is really concerned with how that's affecting the atmosphere and other people who are not within the war. They're just so focused on proving their point and their own feelings and fighting and delivering the blows that they want to deliver. And that is meant to also show you how much you are being inconsiderate, and it's a reflection of how you're not considering yourself. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you were raised not to consider yourself. You were raised to live in the closet. You were raised to walk around masking like you don't have mental illness, like you don't have some sort of physical illness, like you may not have both, like your problems are not as bad as everybody else's, so you don't deserve the same consideration as everybody else does, when in fact you deserve even more. And that's a part of the self-discipline, disciplining yourself to form new habits that prioritize you and your feelings and your comfort and what you need and desire first. And if people don't like, so what it keeps giving me is like the example of y'all throwing a party, and you want to invite all of these people, but then when you tell them who's coming, what the theme is, what colors everybody's supposed to be wearing, what y'all gonna be doing, they like, oh, I don't eat that. Oh, I don't agree with that. Oh, that's demonic. Oh, I don't like her. You gotta da 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 da. No, let those people disinvite themselves. Throw the party that you want, and don't just take this as a literal simple party. Take this as a party of your life. Your life is the party. Set it up how you want it to be. Set it up how it's fun, joyful, fulfilling, and wholesome for you, regardless of who is there. And that's a part of the challenge. That's a part of the self discipline, regardless of who is there. Because certain people that, in best case scenario, you would have expected to be there, that you would expect it to be supporting your needs and desires and what you want and just being there simply because it's you and it's what you want, a lot of them may not be there. And that's something that y'all are being called to surrender to and make peace with. Being okay with, and for some of you, this is even your parents, being okay with if your parents don't agree with who you are and like certain things, because that's what a lot of y'all are having to realize, a pride for yourself, a sense of pride in yourself and who you are. Not just where you come from, but who you are and who you want to be. For real, who your higher self wants to be, which is also a representative of that lion in sheep's clothing. That lion in sheep's clothing is also you. It's also a part of yourself that is waiting to take off the cloak and simply be the lion that you are, unafraid of other people fearing you simply because you are. And this is bringing up the quote by Bruce Lee that says, "Be water." I can't think of the whole name, but I got my dad because my daddy loves Bruce Lee, and I got him a portrait of Bruce Lee with that quote on it. I'm gonna look it up real quick. It says, "Be water." Um, real quick, Bruce Lee quote about water. Be like water. Yeah, I'm gonna read it out to y'all. Be like water. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless like water. Okay? A lot of y'all have had too many people trying to form and shape y'all however they want y'all to be, trying to stuff y'all in a cup, trying to stuff y'all to one designated little puddle or something when y'all are an ocean. The ocean don't do what people tell it to do. The ocean does what it know it needs to do for this world, for itself first, for itself first, because the water knows that if it does not protect and cleanse and honor itself, the world will cease to be. Be like water, not like clay or silly putty, pressed and pulled and tugged and forced in other people's hands. Be like water. shapeless, formless, ever changing. Okay. And his quote goes on to say, if you put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. If you put water in a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water. And that also goes in to say, be careful of where you allow yourself to flow into. Be careful of what you allow yourself to pour into, because whatever you pour yourself into, you are bound to become. If you pour yourself into predators, ruthless predators, that is, you're bound to become that. If you pour yourself into nothingness, you're bound to become that. If you pour yourself into pity, you're bound to become that, because you are water. You must be water, which means to whom much is given, much is required, which means much is required to maintain, protect, secure. So you must be more mindful and more in tune with your own feelings on what is true to you, what is true to your form and the shapes that you want to create, not just these teapots and cups and potholes that people want to make your end all be all. All right. And with all that being said, child, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I am thoroughly appreciative of the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quarters for the next time. And be sure to bless that comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah. And as we proceed to give you R&B mother, because what you need and what you need is these messages from the full moon in Leo for my sunshines and sunnies of group 2, also represented by Protector by Beyonce and Boom TikTok. And we're gonna get straight out the gate into it. And y'all, I ain't telling y'all no lies, honey. What I am hearing and feeling in my body, child. Horses at the stable. I love the way they ride, 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 ride. Horses at the stable. I love the way they ride, 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 ride. Yes. This is a musical ass group. And y'all wanna dance, honey. I'm hearing from the Selena movie. We wanna dance. We wanna dance. Y'all wanna dance and y'all need to dance as well. And this also confirms and reaffirms something that I was thinking but didn't say until now, that there are a few of you, I'm picking up that it's not a lot, but a few that are staying tuned for both groups. And that's cool. I fucks with that. Fruitful multiplication of it all. Okay? All in divine design. I'm here for it. And so that is, for those of you that resonate with both groups, that's a follow-up message from something that came out in the first group. And dance is coming up as a form of outlet, as a form of healthy isolation, as well as a form of overall healing for you all. So I'm hearing pole dance. I'll also consider, if you were in the first group, there was a lesser, no tea, no shade, but just in simple terms, there was a more unevolved, less high ranked wands card in the first group. And this group has the king of wands. And so it's given knowing that you're destined for royalty. And the overall message of that is knowing that you are. A key thing to knowing that you are destined is knowing that you are. Knowing that even though where you come from may have pain, anger, imperfections, it doesn't mean that you have to be a slave to it. It doesn't mean that that's a everlasting definer to your character. It doesn't have to be. And it also doesn't mean that that's your end all be all. So y'all are called to own your sense of royalty and the sense of royalty that you come from, regardless of what you can see or not see right now. Y'all's patience has been severely tested and is still being tested in certain ways. And this is drawing you all back to self faith. Y'all's faith in humanity has been shattered. And spirit is acknowledging that and validating the pitfalls of such. And y'all are being called to validate it for yourself and have more patience for yourself. Allow yourself to know and learn and know further. Continue to know, maintain the knowing that self patience is tied to self faith. A lot of you all are struggling with faith in humanity based on lacking faith in your influence in this world. You've been through a lot of things that have shown you, and in certain ways, on certain dimensions and frequencies, proven to you that right is wrong and wrong is right, and that you're an enemy for being righteous. And you're being redirected to reclaim your throne and the confidence of that throne, which is coming through releasing self sacrifice. releasing the excessiveness of self-sacrifice. And now's the perfect time for me to address why I switched up the picture for Beyonce's representation in this whole thing. So y'all know the song channel was Protector by her and Rumi. Okay. All the while you will notice a theme here. All right. I ain't gotta state the obvious, but I'm gonna state it anyway. Look at that horse. Look at that horse. Look at that horse. Pretty as hell on that trail driving on horse. Yes. Yes. Sweet Honey Bucking. For one, yes, that song is chilling through. And there is some very, very grand horse symbolism going on here. So it's given the horse animal totem. There is a need to evaluate the horse symbolism across the spectrum of philosophies, you know, the biologies and the nature shit, and also spiritual concepts. Look at how different spiritualities and religions perceive horses and what horses represent to them. And all this is meant to draw back to what the horse symbolism and animal totem is meant to represent for you, okay? But what's coming through here as the messages from the horse animal totem just off real, as far as these full moon Leo messages is concerned for you all. Y'all are needing, some of y'all are needing to get back in the saddle, okay? Y'all are needing to straddle your horse and ride on over that mountain as you come. Okay, so this is hitting in a couple of different ways. For some of y'all, it's giving, y'all partner wants y'all to ride more. Yes, like sexually. They want you to get on top more. They want you to, horses at the stable. They wanting you to ride. Okay, in another sense, and for some of you and others of you, they're wanting you to take the reins more in the relationship, including feeling yourself more, knowing more, having a higher sense of confidence. So they're peeping that something is up with your sense of confidence. So there's some type of integrated healing that needs to happen between the sacral and the solar plexus. Ooh, okay. So there is trigger warning, if you will. I just always expect a trigger warning if you're gonna be, you know, getting a reading from me on this channel in person. You know, just understand trigger warning when it comes to me. Period. Just have an etch a sketch in your brain already. Trigger warning. So yeah, dog. I'm picking up some sexual trauma needing deep healing. So it's also bringing up turquoise, the color and the stone. And interestingly enough, they're telling me that this is a part of the message also. A lot of people tend to call teal turquoise. the color that is teal, which is the darker, you know, it's the other side of the coin to turquoise, but it's the darker blue-greenish type color. Turquoise is the lighter bluish-greenish type color. It looks similar to seafoam green. But yeah, so they're wanting to make a lot of differentiations clear when it's coming to both collectives of the water signs, which I find very interesting, because looking at things through aquatic lenses can blur the vision. So yes, this is also leading up to strengthening you all's third eye. And there are some specific messages that it's like Spirit knew that a few of you will be coming on over from group 1, and they're differentiating, honey, very clearly which messages are specifically for y'all. And this is coming in to say that this, okay, so there were some messages from group 1 as it concerned stifling emotions, you know, and particularly also in the sense of ignoring your own emotions by being overly concerned and responsible for other people's emotions. So what they're following up here with you all specifically is that's part of the reason why, because there's some deep, intense sexual trauma going on here. And for specifics of you, it is specifically along the lines of someone violating you sexually when you were a kid, or someone violating you sexually in general, and when you spoke up about it, you were villainized, demonized, and or you were just so it's giving me this image of someone like, and they're also specifying it's a demonic matriarch, a demonic feminine matriarch here, but this demonic feminine shows up very, very soft and delicate and maternal. Like, for some of you, they may talk like Jada Pinkett quite a bit. They may even be a Virgo. For others of you, they come off a bit more, and she's a Virgo too, that's funny as hell. They come off a bit more like Iyanla for others of you, beloved. Like, and it's given this demonic matriarch, whenever such and such happened, and you went to them about it, and or they found out about it one way or another, and them portraying to counsel you and show you empathy and compassion, console you. They're speaking in a consoling voice, but what they're saying is to erase from your mind and memory and emotions what happened. They're saying it as if they're coaching you on moving on, but what they were actually doing is gaslighting you and communicating to you, you need to stuff your emotions down about this. Don't talk about this. Don't embarrass me by talking about this. Don't piss off my man. Don't piss off such and such. Don't break up the family by having a rightful reaction to this wrongdoing happening to you. And they knew what they were doing. I'm literally hearing that. They knew what they were doing. They don't care about you. They didn't care about you for real. This is someone who cares more about optics. That's crazy, because think about that message that had just come through about looking through aquatic lenses, blurring the vision. Whoever this demonic matriarch is, fuck rose-colored glasses. They put aquatic lens glasses on people, on you specifically, and they are those blurry aquatic lenses. That habit and that voice in your head, that muscle memory that you may have, and some of you from group 2 may start to resonate with this message, but just coming from a different experience. But yeah, that habitual self-gaslighting, that habitual self-blinding shit is coming from that demonic matriarch. And this is where the messages about the messages from the intro messages specifically that was talking about stepchildren, stepdaughters, children, all of that. So there's a need. Want to be a protector. There's a need. Ooh, yes. So there is a need. There's going to be a time and a place where you have to be for a child what no one was for you. There's a child, and this is a part of those messages too, that's having a paralleling experience to what you had. And when shit starts to pop off, and or when you start to notice these parallels, even if you can't put your finger on it, it causes you to like shrink inside of yourself. And there's a huge part of yourself that wants to roar. Interesting. Katy Perry channeled through the first group, and Katy Perry is channeling through this group as well, but instead it's the song Roar. You're gonna hear me roar, honey. And a part of the lyrics that's coming up is the parts of, I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess, so I said quietly, agree politely, I guess that I forgot I had a choice, I let you push me past my breaking point, I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. They helped you down, but you about to get up, get ready, because you already done had enough, or tower moment. Something is going to happen that's going to put you in that full-blown fire horse energy of, I've had the fuck enough. Enough is enough. If you scared, then just say that hoe, enough is enough. Okay, that's another challenge. That's another song challenge. Cardi B. Okay, and so this is the perfect time to get into, there is some information about weddings. It's a lot of messages about weddings and marriage channeling through, and that is also correlating, you know, with the Cardi B energy and representation channeling through just now also. So that's not a coincidence at all either. Ooh, as I'm hearing that too, I'm hearing, and you had enough fans took that ring off. Hey, now only the real Beyonce fans don't know about this song for real. That is Ring Off by Beyonce, which has a lot of basically the song is dedicated to her mother on some shit, and basically her mama having the courage to take that ring off both times, honey. Get the fuck on up out of there. And Spirit is saying to acknowledge that Beyonce, also a Virgo, but Beyonce's mama is a Capricorn, and Capricorns in their unevolved form tend to be, when they're you know in their fields of, so let me be specific, unevolved Capricorns who are hopeless romantics, they tend to be loyal to a fault, very 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 loyal to a fault. They do everything to make sure that their partner is accommodated. They will rarely put up a fight about anything, but at the same time, when it gets to that point of them having the fuck enough, they have had the fuck enough. Okay. And crazy, ring the alarm. I've been through this too long, but I'll be damned if I see another bitch on your arm. Ring the alarm. Okay, that's another song channeling. So let me get to the nitty gritty, the cricks and the crannies of these messages, right? So pay very close attention, take what resonates and spit at the bone, okay? Take the meat and spit at the bone. All right, so for some of you, y'all are destined for a, you know, textbook definition, divinely designed, happily ever after, honey. For some of you, you already with your divine flame. You already with your partner. Y'all already, you know, doing the things. Y'all done seen the miracles happen in y'all relationship. You know what I'm saying? And you can see clearly now the rain is gone. You can see that it's only up from her. Okay? You know, everything ain't gonna always be, you know, cookies and cream, butterflies and rainbows. And as I'm saying that, it's 2 other Beyonce songs channeling through, child. Woo, it's a musical ass fucking collective here. So it's both All Night by Beyonce. Specifically the lyrics, we found the truth beneath the lies, but true love never has to hide. And also the other song is Love Happy, okay? You did some things to me, but babe, you do some things to me, okay? Damn, look at us now, praying for the vows, hey? Okay, we way up now, it's a long way down, child, yes, okay? So, if you haven't heard those songs before, give them songs a listen. Even if you have heard those songs before, you may want to give them a spin so you can really be intimate with yourself and with your significant other, like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Bask in the beauty of those messages and that confirmation about who you with, you know? Come on, Bernie. Why is Bernie Mac channeling through right now? I have no idea. But maybe some of you may need to, and this is not just me plugging my shit. When I ask the questions, Spirit be giving me answers, honey. So what they're saying is Spirit is channeling through because some of you may need to watch my Bernie Mac show reviews. There may be some things, concepts and, you know, conversations that I have in those reviews that are enlightening and even confirmation, validation to you one way or another. So that may be, you know, another exchange of energy that y'all may need to have with both Bernie Mac's content as well as me. And, you know, the prophetic artistry of it all. And I feel like that's also Spirit saying that Bernie Mac was a prophetic artist as well. So that could also be a call to really get into some Bernie Mac content. Like, go look at some of his old stand-ups, watch back some movies and whatnot that he's in, see if you can see some interviews, some behind the scenes content, even, people speaking on him, talking about him, things of that nature. I don't know if he has any documentaries or anything that are about him, but yeah, okay. Big Libra energy coming through here, which is definitely giving the energy of justice. So let's get into the rest of these messages about weddings and marriages and all of that. So what Spirit also wanted to, as we perfectly segue into them things, what Spirit also wanted to clarify as well is that for those of you that are already with your divine flame, it is karmic retribution. It is a form of karmic retribution. Both of you essentially are marrying into wealth. Even if one of you has more money than the other one, the other has like wealth and huge divine backing, wealth in heart, wealth in values, and spiritual resources and things of that nature. So, and together y'all gonna be fruitful and multiplicative with each other. And like I said, it is good karmic retribution on both of y'all's behalf. It is also a gift from God. Y'all are gifts from God to each other, and y'all's relationship is a gift from God, also a gift from God to this world. Okay, y'all's relationship is meant to help build faith in humanity and also pour more optimism, love, just more high vibrations into the world. Oh yes, and it's like this really pure goddess pink feminine energy into the world. Y'all's divine union is meant and will everlastingly heal the world. That is so fucking beautiful. So now on the other side of these karmic retributions, so wait, before we get to that, because someone is stressed out about presents at a wedding. And I'm saying, I'm country, y'all, so I know, let me be specific. Presents, not presents like gifts, but presents as in people being there. Okay, so some of y'all are stressed out. Some of you who are planning a wedding are experiencing, someone specific planning a wedding is having a lot of concerns about who is gonna show up, okay? And, the specificities of people who have sentimental value to you that you really want there, and you're concerned. So some of these concerns are coming up as, so it's some friends. Okay, so someone is dealing with some drama in a friend group, honey, and it's adding to concern like, oh my gosh, is this drama finna interfere with the wedding party? Is it finna interfere with the gathering of it all? Is everybody gonna be able to act like they got some sense? Do I need to just disinvite all of them? Do we need to just go to the justice of the peace and say, fuck it? Okay, for others of you, it's definitely family shit. So it's hitting in different ways. Again, take the meat, spit out the bone. So in one way, there is like family drama, like literally family drama, family being weird about, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be there. If such and such gonna be there. I don't know. They owe me $20. Just a bunch of pettiness. On another end, it's given like, they don't like your mate. And this is coming up as like, it may be family and or friends. So, either way with that. But it's giving that a lot of people that you would really want there, either they don't like the person that you get married to, or you got strong feelings that they don't really like the person that you married to. And some of them could be making it very clear that they're not coming because they don't agree with the union, that they don't agree with you marrying them. They feel like you can do better. For some of you, it could be their family is not fucking with you. Oh, tisk. Yeah, for some of you, it's given that their family might not be fucking with you for whatever reason. I don't like what I just when I was just hearing channeling through. I don't even want to say that out loud, but what I am going to say is the message. Okay, they want me to chant it, child. I got to be obedient. The clairaudient message that started channeling through was, witch, you're a bitch. I really despise I really despise certain types of people. You know what else is channeling through now? That's crazy. SZA, come on, Queen Scorpio. Y'all finally got a Scorpio to channel through group 2. Come on, SZA. But it's particularly SZA's grandma. I forgot at the end of which song this particular audio of SZA's grandma. But what she is saying is, you want to fuck with me? I ain't fucking with you. And step on. Okay? You black up for you, you stand your ground. I ain't got to treat you mean, you ain't got to treat me mean. I just stay out your way. Okay? So that's likely, well, it's SZA's grandma, first of all. But it may also be one of you all's grandmas, okay? Maybe even my grandma also channeling through to give some words of encouragement, if you will. Basically to say, yeah, you love your mate, you respect their family, but also remember, respect is earned. Okay? Respect is earned. Know thyself. Know thyself. And a part of knowing thyself is knowing that if you know good and well that you're respectful and you've earned the right to respect, you don't owe nobody shit else if they're disrespecting you. And if your mate is not, defending you like talking about, that's a red flag. That's a huge red flag and something to definitely, there's that song. There was a song channeling through before I had started recording, and I'm seeing why now. Again, and this may be some of y'all that tapped into both groups again. So the song is Miranda Lambert, Running Just in Case. This song is channeling through in 2 different ways, so bear with me, honey. So there was a message that came through, and if I remember correctly, it was from the first group, particularly the intro messages, if I'm not mistaken. And it has to do with that stifling of emotions, desensitization, certain parts of the brain being turned off, all of that good shit. And it was talking about lacking the urgency to run, lacking an ability to properly perceive when you're in dangerous territory and you need to run, you need to fight or flight. And for some of you, this is giving, you need to flight, you need to get the fuck out of Dodge, you need to get the fuck out of here. Like, this is not worth fighting for, especially if you see that your mate is not truly fighting for you, because Spirit is making the clear distinction. This is not just, oh, just some family drama, just some old people being emotional, oh, it's just tensions are high, all of that. No, these people don't like you. That's why that's also why they wanted me to, I'm realizing that's why they wanted me to say that chant out loud, so that you can understand that this is a frequency of hate. This is more than they don't like you. They have been taught one way or another to demonize someone who is like you. So let's be clear. This could hit where you may be in a same-sex marriage, or their family may know that you are queer in whatever way. Like, you may be with the opposite sex, but you are still a part of the LGBTQ community. You do still have, you still maintain attractions for the other sex, even if you don't entertain it. You're not, you're monogamous, but you are also fluid, queer in whatever way. And their family and friends may know that about you, and they are homophobic. This may also be the fact that you may be a different religion or of a different spirituality. You may literally be a spiritual worker. You may call yourself a witch. They may have people in their friends and family groups that stalk you on social media, and or just literally just be all in your business. Just, asking people about you, talking about you to different people, like acting like private investigators about you, trying to get any information, spreading stuff like you put spells on people, and you be skinning cats and chopping chickens, and, shit like that. I'm also picking up, for some of you, you may be Haitian, and they may be stereotyping you specifically in such a way. I really extend compassion to you all as it concerns this situation, because that is really trash and fucked up, because especially the way that it's channeling through, and Spirit is wanting to again make the distinction and the clarification that they have not fucked with you from jump. They've not fucked with you from jump. They've been committed to not fucking with you from jump, because it's a part of their belief system. So that's why it's coming up like it's not worth fighting for. Those of you that resonate with this message, it's not worth fighting for, because for some of you, for real, this could get very fatal for one, and for others of you, you could end up like Helga's mama from Hey Arnold on some shit, like just worn, tired, and through, and just laying around drinking quote unquote smoothies all day, that it's just you a walking zombie type shit, you walking dead, so that's coming up. Some of y'all are really needing to get the fuck out of Dodge. And again, bringing up the concept of tower moment. When this tower moment happens, it's meant to wake up your sense of urgency, and you are supposed to leave and not go back. And it may be temptation to go back, but understand that shit could cost you your life one way or another, whether it's a long, slow, downtrodden life of you becoming the walking dead, or them doing something to you. Please don't do that to yourself. No, don't hurt yourself. For real. Don't hurt yourself. For real. Okay? For others of you, for others of you, it's it's karmic retribution in a different way. So before we get to that, let me wrap up those specific messages about the wedding that hasn't happened yet, which is for those of you that are meant to go through with the marriage. You're going to have a harsh reality of accepting that the people that you think you want there, for real, you really don't. Because you do need to accept and realize and function in the fact that the wedding is a ritual. So if you have people there that don't like you, that don't like your mate, that, and it's one thing if they don't like certain things about your mate, or, they maybe, basically, basic level of, I don't really like him, or I don't really like her, I don't too much see it for her, but if they like it, I love it. Like, fuck it. Like, I wish you the best. I really hope it works out. Cool. That's different. But if they don't like your mate, like they don't wish your mate any good type shit, like if it came down, like they got fatal attraction type shit to your mate, they got a fatally attracted type of dislike towards your mate type shit. If their dislike for your mate gets in the way of respect and protection of you, support of you, and your happiness and things of that nature, that's not somebody that you want at the wedding. Okay? And it's going to be made clear who these people are, because the defining message to that is who matters will be there. That's literally what Spirit is saying. Who matters the most and for real will be there. And it's gonna show you. And for some of you, that is a part of the tower moment. The day of your wedding, you seeing who your real people are. And you seeing it by who's there for real. And they're being clear as well about presence and the multidimensionality of presence. So remember, someone can be physically present and be absent-minded and or absent-hearted. Okay, so keep those things in mind. Now, getting into more depths of some shit. For others of you, this is an interesting type of destiny. So, for others of you, it's a happily ever after for you more than anything, but it's not. Okay, let me just spit it out clearly. So, there are some of you that are in a karmic relationship and or a karmic marriage already. And or again, for some of you, you may be engaged that are also in this category. All right. So again, psycho resonates and spit out the bone. So for some of you who are in a relationship that is already marriage and or inevitably leading up to marriage, the relationship is karmic. And it is meant for you to get married to them. It's meant for you to get married to them. And, for y'all to do all of the things and whatnot. For some of you, maybe have babies. For some of you, maybe not. And that's what's best. Because the spirit of this person is bad karmic. This is someone who has been possessing you through lifetimes. Like, you've been with them in different past lifetimes and in different dimensions and such. And they literally just channeled Channel Chasers, the Fairly Odd Parents special. Is it a movie or is it just a really long episode? Whichever it is, Channel Chasers. And it's also, like I said, speaking to the fact that they've been chasing and possessing you through lifetimes. And this is a prophecy that has to happen in this lifetime for you to finally be free and or free yourself. All right? So, for some of you, I'm going to go ahead and get it out the way, honey. I ain't going to lie. Enough is Enough by Cardi B is channeling through again. And I haven't mentioned it, but Leo, of course, Leo energy has been channeling through strong as fuck because it's full moon and Leo messages. Of course. But I didn't mention exactly how much has been channeling through here. But I figured it would also be obvious by the fact that the King of Wands is there. Like, yeah. But so this brings up, and once again, this may be some of you that also resonate with Group 1. So those concepts of a lion in sheep's clothing that came up in Group 1. There was also a message attached to it that concerned this lion waiting for the divine timing to jump in and rip up shit to shreds and bloodshed on your behalf. Okay? So what they're also bringing up is the Kelsey Frost situation, Kirk and Rashida's daughter, Rashida's stepdaughter. Okay. I'm gonna let y'all connect the dots as it resonates for you. But okay. So yeah, they're bringing up that situation. Whereas the situation where Kelsey was being abused and a timing came through where her brothers felt the need to act, and they act and got him on up out of here. Okay. So with that example, you could consider Kelsey's brothers being those lions in sheep's clothing that were there at the right time to carry out what needed to be carried out. Okay. For others of you, is bringing up the movie Enough with Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez is a Leo. So in the movie Enough, this girl has gotten swept off her feet into this relationship with this man, and he, woos her, wines and dines her, like treats her what seems like the best a woman could ever be treated. Buys a house for her, like literally postures himself as if he, worship the ground that she walks on, like whatever she likes. Okay. And then after all these years and their baby is like maybe 4 or 5 years old, she finds out that he's had a mistress, and she confronts him, and he starts beating her. From then on, she's trying to get away from him, and on some, if I can't have you, nobody can ass shit. And long story short, she ends up having to kill his ass. And it took her also going to the police at a point, child. Eventually, she went to the police, and it was difficult for her to go to the police also because he had people within the police department, all that shit. So she had to do a lot. Y'all, if you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie. She also ended up having to reconnect with her daddy, and once her daddy saw the reality of the situation, he ended up helping and putting her in touch with some people that could basically help her self-defend herself properly and get off. Like, so much so that when they pulled up to the scene, the cops already knew. Okay, the cops already knew, like, oh damn, she done finally defended herself, and he up out of here. We not even finna handcuff her or none of that shit. So I'm not gonna lie. For some of you, the message that is channeling through, that is a major part of the prophecy for you all. That y'all are meant to take them up out of here. And or you have a lion in sheep's clothing that when that time comes, they are going to do it for you one way or another. And for some of you, this may not be life or death in a literal sense, but it could be death through prison. So someone may act on your behalf that gets this person rightfully put in prison. And that's coming up as a parallel, right? So it's some of you that you're not necessarily in a violent situation, but or you can sense that some things are too good to be true. You're not really allowed to ask too many questions, and if you do ask questions, you can tell that you're not getting a whole answer. So this person is not betraying you per se by like being abusive in a way of hitting you or verbally abusing you or things of that nature. But this is giving a double life, and not even like a double life in the sense of they got another family across town somewhere. No, this person might be a kingpin. This person might be a top-notch scammer. He might be running a sweatshop or something somewhere. This, he or she, however it applies, however they identify, and all these things. This person may have some sort of double life as it concerns some sort of racketeering type of lifestyle. Something of the sort of that nature. And you may look up one day and realize, because it could seem, like I said, this too good to be true type thing. And people may look at y'all like, oh, it's just a beautiful couple, and this and that, and you don't have any proof of anything of why you should feel alarmed, but it is something inside of you that feels like, I'm hearing, where's all this money coming from? I'm hearing, like, the house, the cars, the clothes, the gifts, a whole lot of pomp and circumstances, a whole lot of beautiful aquatic glasses, rose-colored glasses to keep you distracted and grateful to a fault from seeing that they got some shit going on behind the scenes. And it may come up that you just wake up one morning and the FBI is at your door, or they busting through the roof or something, and they snatching them up out of there, or them, whoever it is, but they snatching them up out of there and they taking them on off to the big house. And Spirit is saying, and they're letting y'all come into hand with these messages right now because they need you to be prepared. They need you to be prepared to let them go. They're bringing up Yandy Smith here. They're saying, don't be Yandy Smith. Be wise enough to protect yourself in certain ways from having to pay for their shit, you know? But there's some things that reason why they're bringing her up, that they're wanting you to take notes from her situation as a way to be better. Okay, because for some of you, y'all are in it, and or y'all are going to be in it inevitably. And so, because again, it's a karmic prophecy, and all of this is leading up for an abundance of wealth. It's a karmic debt that is owed to y'all. And this is for, you know, the whole collective that resonates with this particularities of the message, where it's a karmic marriage and or a relationship that is inevitably leading up to marriage. And this whole thing, the connection is karmic. It's darkly karmic. And again, you're meant to, some of you are meant to slay the dragon. Some of you are meant to have the dragon slave for you. Some of y'all are meant to divorce this person, testify against them in court. Y'all are meant to sue them in the divorce, and or, you know, there was another example that was coming out. But either way, however this marriage ends is meant to end exactly how it ends, and you're meant to fight for yourself, whether that's physically, emotionally, mentally, verbally, legally, artistically. You are meant to fight for yourself drastically. That's why you're being prepped to become like a master of war on some shit, which is Leo. Leo is a master of war. So again, y'all are being prepared for war. That's why Mulan was channeling through. That's why Mulan was channeling through. So all this is leading up to a karmic debt being repaid to you multidimensionally, where the rest of your life from that point on is going to be so fucking easy. Y'all are meant to get paid big from however this marriage ends, and the way that you fight for yourself and defend yourself. Y'all are meant to come into a load of money, resources, homes, and also energetic wealth. They're going to be more like your spiritual rank in the divine realm will raise. You will have more protection from the divine realm. You will have more divine resources. Those of you who are spiritual workers and such, your spiritual gifts will enhance. Your artistic gifts will enhance big time. Like your frequency of manifestation, alchemizing, fruitful multiplication is going to enhance so big. Your projects, your products, any businesses that you have, any artworks that you have that you put out. And that makes sense why this is such a musical group. Because for some of you, you may be in a relationship with a musician, or you and your mate may be a musician, or they may be an exec, or your manager, or y'all work together, do business together, or something of the sort of that nature. And it's going to be meant for you to fight for your rights over your content, what belongs to you. Okay? And that's in more ways than one. It's also in the spiritual sense, like a motherfucker. And like I said, this has been going on for lifetimes, and that's why it's so big and grand. Okay? So it's like, y'all gonna go through a lot. Y'all gonna go through a lot, and the ending of the marriage, all of that, basically, y'all are already in the tower moment. This whole relationship is a big ass fucking tower moment. And when it's all said and done, you gonna be paid like a motherfucker. You gonna be everlastingly paid, generational wealth like a motherfucker. And I'm hearing you here for a good time and a long time, baby. And the rest of your life is going to be most certainly a good ass motherfucking time. I'm literally hearing, I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you. And you're gonna be singing that to yourself and God. Because it would be an instance where you finally save yourself. After a whole life, after several lifetimes, the way it's coming up, after several lifetimes of sacrificing yourself to save every fucking body else, you're gonna finally save yourself, and you're gonna get paid as fuck for it. And I'm even hearing, like, even in the form of your story. So that makes sense again why this is such a musical group, because some of you may be meant to write songs. And it literally was something that channeled through, writing song lyrics. Some of you are meant to write songs. I'm hearing even write whole musicals, like a musical stage play about your experiences, your stories, this story, and get paid like a motherfucker for it in more ways than one. As well as even in the fact of that false karmic flame being replaced and restored, let's just say replaced, and you being restored with your actual divine partner. Hey now. And for some of you, I'm not gonna lie, for some of you, it's given that you may be asexual for real, and that may be what you come into the realization of, that your divine partner is you. And for the collective of you all, there was also the message of, from this karmic retribution and this karmic debt finally getting paid off, and you finally saving yourself and all of these things. When you reincarnate, like, one, your soul will have like your free will enhance. Your sense of free will enhance in a way where your spirit will have more of a say-so in where you reincarnate, how you reincarnate, more of great things. You won't have to go through so much trauma and bullshit. And so, like, even if you reincarnate back into Earth, it'll be simply because you want to come and have a good ass motherfucking time. You want to come and live your best life. You want to come and just be, I'm seeing Jennifer Lewis. And look into Jennifer Lewis's story. Research Jennifer Lewis's story. And I'm going to leave that at that as it concerns her channeling through. Just do some research on Jennifer Lewis and her story, honey. Okay? That's meant to enlighten and free you, okay? But yeah, dog. Yeah. Like I said, again, this is building up to an intense frequency of wealth. I'm literally seeing the Ace of Coins in my mind's eye. Ooh, child. And I love that for y'all. And honestly, honey, I feel like I can leave it at that. I do truly believe I can leave it at that. So for the collective, honey, it's given that y'all's full moon and Leo messages are having to do with y'all finally being ignited, activated into saving yourself. However, that is divinely designed for you. And that is also why it is heavily important that y'all call your crown back to you. Okay? Here's an affirmation for you. I declare and demand that my crown flows back to me and through me, everlastingly secure. All right? So that's an affirmation for you all. Also, Also, calling for divine direction of your emotions. Calling for the divine direction of your emotions. Okay? Hey now, it's a message coming through. It's like some follow-ups on some other messages, and Spirit is saying, like, for some of you may resonate with this. You may need to start doing astral projections to your higher self specifically, so that this is meant to help your self-image, your sense of self-image. You need to be reminded who you are, and Spirit is saying one of the best individuals to help you remember who you are is your higher self. So y'all are being called to astral project. Some of you are also being called to do intense protection rituals, protective rituals around your crown, and also in the literal sense of your hair. Protection rituals around your hair, protection rituals surrounding your bonnets and any other hair frequencies, crown frequencies, hair accessories that you have and that you wear, doing protective castings and such around those things, because I'm not going to lie, it is some people, and for those of you that was resonating with those messages about your would-be could-be in-laws thinking witch you're a bitch and shit, some of them are witch ass bitches. They just think that it's okay when they do it because they Christian. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that at that, but just know, do them protective rituals around your crown also. And like I said, astral project to your higher self. For some of you, y'all are needing to do Hathor rituals, particularly one that involves using a mirror and placing what you want to be reflected back to you, things that you want to be reminded of about yourself, placing it on the mirror. You can put your picture on the mirror with your face towards the glass of the mirror and with the labels coming outward from the mirror. Okay, I hope I explained that properly. But what that is meant to do, it helps Hathor to help you help yourself to, again, be reminded of the divinity about yourself, the good things about yourself, because it has been, and there are a hell of a lot of people that have been trying to project like a motherfucker on you and make you out to be this evil witch ass bitch when they the damn dogs, motherfucker. Hey, shout out to Bernie Mac once again. But with all that being said, y'all, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milk to discount you, right? And I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you feel synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back with these queen qualities for the next time. And be sure to bless that comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways like love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.